everyone, and welcome to Stampin' Chat Live. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. Tonight we're going to have some fun because we are going to play with some 2D embossing folders. It's been a while since we played with 2D embossing folders, but anything that you see me do tonight, you certainly can do with 3D embossing folders too. And I thought it would be fun to break those out because we just haven't played with them for a while. Now this technique is nothing super new, but I thought that I would do a fun card layout that I think you might like. I'm going to be using a little vellum for my card layout tonight too. So that's fun and a little twist on things. But before we get started tonight, let's say hello to Tom. Hey Tom.
Fun with embossing boulders?
Embossing boulders, yeah.
Embossing boulders.
Just like the bloopers reel we did many years ago.
Yeah, sounds great. Hi, everybody. Welcome.
How are you doing?
I am better than horrible, back in the dead space.
Do you know I heard today on the news that today is the busiest travel day of the year?
Oh.
More than tomorrow.
I wonder how that's going.
Well, I think a lot of people are traveling tonight, so we're going to have a more intimate group here on Stampin' Chat Live for sure, but that's okay. That always happens on the Tuesday before Thanksgiving here in the United States, right?
Yeah, a lot of moving around. And
yeah.
People having some excitement and some travel. That sounds great.
Yeah, it sounds fun. I didn't realize that Thanksgiving was a more popular travel time than Christmas.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The biggest. Yeah. But you know what? We're just staying put, right?
Yeah.
We're just going to be here eating our turkey in Wisconsin in the snow. That's what I heard. It might snow. So hopefully it's not snowing yet where you guys are, but I think some snowy weather might be on the horizon. The bad news is it's going to snow. The good news is nothing feels better than being tucked away at home with either a hot cup of coffee or tea and your craft supplies when it's snowing outside. So that's something we can all look forward to. All right, Tom, do you have a word of the day today?
I do.
Oh, good. All right. Well, then let's get started right away. So, like I said, we're going to be doing some embossing. See, you got me, Tom. Some embossing folder work. And I picked two different embossing folders for tonight's technique that I think are going to work really well. And here they are. This is the Tapestry embossing folder. This is the one that probably is our most popular embossing folder that we have in our collection. I like this one because it's great for holiday cards because it does feel very festive, but there's really nothing holiday, specific about it. It's just a lot of swirls and leaves and a few berries, but that could be fall, that could be spring, it could be really anything. And then the Holiday Flora is another great embossing folder for the technique I'm going to do tonight. This has holiday-esque images on it. It's got a poinsettia, it's got a pine cone, it's got some holly leaves and holly berries and stuff. So this is more holiday-oriented. But either one of these could be used, or any embossing folder that you have that has a little bit of surface space in the design. So what I mean by that is we have other embossing folders. Let me grab one. I'll grab a couple here just to show you what I mean. So like this one here, this is our Snowflake one. This has a lot more detail to it. It's more like line art images, where these would be more like silhouette style images. So this one might not work quite as well. Something like the Swiss dot, I don't think it would work as well, or it's just not going to look as cool when you're doing this technique. So try to stick with an embossing folder that has a little bit more chunk to it, if that makes sense. So the embossing folders, how thick are the embossing folders? That's a great question. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit here. Well, if I had to get one or the other of these embossing folders, I would pick the Tapestry. I like the Holiday Flora. I really do for the holidays, but probably by the time you would get it, if you ordered it, it'll be gone. I mean, the holidays will be over. But Tapestry is just one of those that you can use year-round. So let me see if I can measure this. So these When I hold that tight together, they're like 1/8 of an inch thick. Maybe even smaller. Yeah, about 1/8 of an inch thick. So they're pretty thin. Compared to our 3D folders, they're pretty thick. So these are going to be perfect for the technique we're going to do tonight. Now, whatever embossing and die cutting machine you're going to use, just use whatever sandwich you normally use for 2D embossing folders. These are pretty standard size. So the difference between a 2D embossing folder and a 3D embossing folder, I don't know if I have any cards here with 3D embossing folders made, but let me look real quick. Okay, so this is the opposite side though. Let me grab one more and I will explain. Okay, so here is, these flowers are made, with a 3D embossing folder. So a 3D embossing folder gives you more dimension than a 2D embossing folder. A 3D embossing folder, if you look closely, you'll see that some of the lines sink in, like these kind of lines in the flower here. And there's depressed areas inside the center of these flowers. They press inward, same here with these little lines in the petals. And some of the lines push outward. So you've got more than just a second dimension, right? One dimension is the flat paper. 2 dimension is the flat paper, and then all the raised areas are even. 3 dimension is some areas push out, some areas push in, and some areas are flat. So you get a lot of different areas here. Somebody said, please zoom in. If I zoom in too close, it starts to get blurry, but hopefully you can see that. You can see here on this flower, see how this is pushed out, but these lines are pushed in. You won't get that on a 2D folder. Everything on a 2D folder pushes forward. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, so that's the big difference between 2D and 3D. 3D, you've got 3 different levels of dimension. But the 2D folders are just beautiful. So let me zoom back out again because I am way too close here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a quarter sheet of cardstock, and I just cut 8.5 by 11 cardstock down to A2 size. So this is 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. I'm going to start with the Tapestry one, and let me get my die cutting machine. Now, if you are new to the Intracut, I am just going to tell you a little bit about it because I think it's important, especially because right now the Intracut's normally $160. It's a great machine because you don't have to think about shims. There's no confusing plates. You get 3 plates with the Intracut. You get the base plate and then the cutting mat. And then you get one more plate for steel ruled dies, which are those big box style dies from days of old. Some people still use them, but they're mostly you find them now in schools. Teachers use them. They're the big box dies, very basic shapes, no detail at all, just like the outline of an apple or the outline, maybe a simple snowflake, things like that. But with this machine, you only need those 3 plates. With other machines, you need different sandwiches. You need to know what to do, and then you need to know how to shim. So you have to add extra pieces of cardstock on top to create shims, to get it tighter or looser, depending on what you're working with. With the Intracut, you don't need any of that. So the Intracut has a handle that comes off, and the handle will store inside the drawer. There's a drawer on each side. You could probably see that little handle outline here. It's a little bit bright in the light, but you can store your handle in the drawer, and that's a great way to travel around with it, right? The back side also has a drawer, so you can store die cuts in there. You can, store whatever you want to take with you on the road when you're going somewhere, or, you know, if you want to just store some things that you use all the time. Somebody told me that they always put their master layouts 1 and 2 in the intercut drawer because they use it on almost every card that they make. Then the other part of the intercut that's different than most die cutting machines is this right here. Rather than needing different plate sandwiches, you just turn this dial to die cutting, to 2D letterpress and emboss, and to 3D emboss. Now, our 3D embossing folders actually work on the 2D emboss because we really like the manufacturer that we were working with. And they do their folders just a little bit different than other folders. But this also works with your glimmer machine. It'll work with your better press machine. You just set it to letterpress, and you can use the glimmer or the better press with this machine. And it's just a turn of a dial like that. There you go. So, and then instead of using paper shims where you've got your plates together and you think, oh, I wish I could get it a little bit tighter, and you have to add some cardstock to it, you can just press this dial. It's a press and twist, and you can make the plate tighter or looser by pressing this dial. So you have to press the dial in order to turn it, but when you press it, it'll turn all the way from the minus, I gotta see, I'll put my glasses on here, the +5, which is the loosest. It adds like 5 whatevers. I don't know exactly what that means. It could mean millimeters, I'm not sure, but it loosens it up. Here, you're gonna take away space, so you're gonna make it tighter all the way down to -5. So I always recommend whatever you're doing, whether you're die cutting, 2D embossing, or 3D embossing, start at 0. You can always tighten it if it's not giving you the results that you want. And then the handle is really super easy to put on. It's got a little latch here, and you just pull down on that latch like that, and then you put the handle on and let go of the latch, and the handle is connected. So you don't have to get any screws or anything like that. Now, there's also these rubber grippy feet on the bottom. And when you use this either on a glass mat or you use it on a hard surface like a countertop or a granite countertop or a laminated countertop, and you push the drawers in, then the intercut stays stuck to your space and it doesn't wiggle all around. It'll stay nice and tight. And that actually allows you sometimes just to use one hand to pump the plates through. Okay, so I just wanted to tell you that because normally the intercut is $160, but right now, because we have 25% off coupon that you can use, you can get it for $119. That's a really good deal if you're in the market for a new die cutting machine. So I just wanted to tell you how it worked, just in case you're new and you're in the market. No pressure to buy it, but I hate when people don't tell me things that I might want to know. So,
question from PA: what is a cover plate?
A cover plate is just a big die that covers the front of your card. So for example, of course I picked that one. Here is our snowflake cover plate. It's just a big die that will cover the front of your card, and it will cut out an intricate design of some sort. It's just a die. Okay, so the coupon code is THANKYOU25, all caps, THANKYOU25. Think thank you or thankful, it's Thanksgiving, thank you 25. And that's how you get 25% off the whole store right now. It covers everything except our clearance category and gift cards. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about embossing. So with a 2D embossing folder, you do want to set your intercut to 2D emboss, and then I'm just going to leave it at 0 here. We'll see if we need to tighten it or not. Yes, you can use the code as many times as you want. There's no restrictions on that. And don't forget, if you spend $75 or more, you also get a free incentive gift. So don't forget that. It usually means that you've got to spend about $100 in actual product, and then you take 25% off. That'll go down to $75, and you'll still get your free gift. So I am putting this in to the embossing folder, and I like when it presses up. You know what I mean? So the the texture of the design you can feel on this side, and the impressed side where it sinks in is on the top. And if you have trouble like me, like you're always feeling it, like which way is right, I just put a label on mine, the name of the folder, which is great because I never remember and I never keep packaging. I put the name right on the folder, and then I know that's the right side, so that makes it easy too. So I'm just going to use some of our white layering weight cardstock here. And because this isn't like a rigid pattern where it's got stripes or diamonds or dots where it has to be right, it doesn't matter if it's not perfectly straight. And then I'm going to put this on the platform, and then I'm going to put my plate, my cutting mat, right on top. All right? And then I'm going to send that through the machine. Now I have it set to 0, so if yours feels a little too tight, you can back it off a little bit. Mine's a little tight, not so tight that it's going to warp the folder. See, it didn't really warp the folder. Sometimes you can make it so tight that you come out and your folder's all curled. You don't want to do that. You should never have to force it through. But this is going to give me a really nice impression, and it certainly did. Can you see that beautiful impression there? These embossing folders are so easy to use. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to put that aside. Now I want to do a second one with the holiday flora, but I could do it with the tapestry too. I mean, that one would work fine. I'm trying to think what other one. Maybe we should try it with the snowflakes just to see the difference, because you might still like that. Let's do that. I'm going to use the snowflake one. We'll just see how it looks, okay? So that's a good way to think of it. Bumps on the bottom. That's a great way to think of it. That was a great tip, Marby-Q2Q. That was a great tip. She said bumps on the bottom, so you know it sinks in on the front, but bumps on the bottom. But my little trick here works well for me. Okay, so I'm going to get another quarter sheet of cardstock, white cardstock, and I'm going to put it into this embossing folder. This is Snowflakes. And once again, I'm going to do the same thing. Hey, Brienne Loveland. Brienne is here, even though it's a holiday week coming up. Brienne's always here. She's always so loyal and shows up every week, twice a week, helping us with our links. She can find anything for you. So, Brienne, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. I hope that you have some fun Thanksgiving plans and that you get to take a little break too. All right, so now we've got the snowflake pattern. I'm kind of excited to see how this one looks. There are some chunky parts, so I think it might look pretty good. Okay, so now we've got our 2 embossing folders finished. We've got them embossed here. And let me put this away so we can get it out of our space, because I did the die cutting ahead of time for tonight's projects. Okay, so I'm going to use the sticky mat here. And I'm going to start with the tapestry folder. I'm just going to put that down on the sticky mat because I want to do a little bit of ink blending. So for this one, I'm going to use our new Kelly Green. And then I'm going to also use some Tranquil Teal. Maybe, yeah, I think I'll stick with Tranquil Teal. I could use Cadet Blue too, but I think this combination is going to be good, especially because I want these colors to be fairly vibrant. Because remember, I am going to be putting vellum on top, and I want to be able to see them through. Does it matter if the base plate and cutting plates are reversed when you emboss? No. Brenda, you can do it either way. It does not matter. All right, now I'm going to use my inkstand here. So this is Brienne's company. She is the Inkstand Shop. And Brienne, I always ask Brienne to share her links, and that helps our customer service department because they always get calls the next day if Brienne doesn't share her links. Where do I get that inkstand? So Brienne, if you wouldn't mind doing that, that would be great. All right, now I'm going to randomly ink up the surface of this. Oh, I love this color green. Do some random inking here.
discount is on through Thanksgiving Thursday evening.
Yes. Yep. Good through Thursday night at 11:59 p.m. Central Time. Now I'm going to use some Tranquil Teal, and I'm going to do the same thing just in those empty areas. All right. I like these colors together. I feel like we're getting a nice blend of blues and greens. And I'm going into the greens a little bit. That helps it look a little bit better blended. See how it starts to get like a teal green where the teal meets the green. So it helps just blend everything out a little bit more. And this is really making that design pop. Okay. Now, I think I'm going to go back and add a little bit more of the green. I don't know if I have to re-ink or not. I don't think so, but I really want to get a little more green in here. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Now, I'm going to add another color to this. So let me grab my messy ink cubes here. I've got like so many ink cubes. They're all over the place. You can use an ink pad for this too. In fact, it's probably better to use an ink pad for this. So maybe I can try the Cadet Blue and see how that looks. I'll try the Cadet Blue. We'll see how it looks. I'm going to lightly, with a very light hand, just do a circular motion over this and see how the ink transfers. If I don't get enough color, I'll go to a darker color. So we'll start with Cadet Blue and see how this looks. Oh, look at that. See how it's picking up that color? And it's just adding some detail to that, but I'm going real light-handed on it. This is one of those techniques that works better if you have an ink pad that's felt and not a sponge, not a foam pad, because foam, they tend to be like more squishy, and sometimes the ink will transfer down into the areas you don't want it. So try to do this with a felt pad like a Gina K Designs pad or some of the other brands that have felt. Otherwise, you have to have a super light touch. Or if you don't have a pad like ours, you could use something like a Tim Holtz blending tool. It's very flat and it's got like a felt flat top on it, and then, or bottom, and then you can ink that up and then you could lightly go over that. But look how that design just popped out. Isn't that gorgeous? I love this. That's so pretty. And it just makes all of that beautiful embossing just stand out even more. Okay, so let's let that dry for a little bit. And let's clean this mat because I did get a lot of ink all over it.
So Karina's ordering the intricut. She wants to know if $15 shipping is correct.
Yes, that is correct. The intricut is about, with all the packing materials in it, I think it's about 13 pounds. So it's a very, very expensive machine to ship. So that surcharge is for shipping because it can cost us anywhere from like $30 to $50 to ship them. It's really expensive. And unfortunately, I don't know why our post office does this. I mean, I guess I understand why they do it, but I don't understand why they do it. They raise the rates on all businesses. They raise the shipping rates starting in October all the way through till the beginning of January. So our shipping rates go through the roof. It's just what they do. They call it, what do they call it, Tom? Like premium shipping, or there's a name for it. But it's a little annoying, you know?
I'll think of a name for
Think of a name for it. All right, for this one, I was thinking of trying Blue Sky and Emerald Coast because these snowflakes are so delicate. So let's just see how this looks. You get all the mats with the Intracut. You won't need any additional mats unless you want to do some like embossing techniques where you need a rubber mat, a silicone mat. We do have a silicone mat that you can buy separately. But it comes with everything that you need right in the box to get started with both cutting and embossing. All right, let's start with Blue Sky. So I'm going to ink this up. I haven't used Blue Sky in a while. So my cards are definitely both going to be like blue and green. But, oh, that blue is so pretty, isn't it? I think I'm going to try powder blue over this as the darker color. So you can see I'm kind of going like in the center and then, you know, the 5 corners. Or the 4 corners. 5 corners. There's not 5 corners on a square or a rectangle. All right, now we're going to move to the Emerald Coast. Let's move to the Emerald Coast. I think I'm going to use my green brush, but I want to clean it just a little bit. So when I have a lot of ink on my brush, what I like to do is just take a little bit of alcohol on a paper towel. Yes, you can, oh, I don't know about the platform, because the platform, it's like you can't really destroy it, you can't warp it, or you can't really damage it. So I don't know that we'll sell the platform separately, just because they're so expensive and we have to buy so many of them. They make us buy thousands. And I really think if I tried to sell that platform separately, I'd probably sell no more than a dozen. But you can buy the set. There's a set that you can buy that has everything. But I don't think we're going to sell that separately. That's just not one of those consumable items because it does last forever. So you can see I got some of the ink off of that brush using rubbing alcohol. And rubbing alcohol dries so quickly that you can clean your brush, but then you can also use it right away. What colors would you blend with Blue Raspberry? Oh, I would definitely blend Lucky Clover, Kelly Green would be beautiful with Blue Raspberry. Also purples like Wild Wisteria and Blue Raspberry would be beautiful. All right, so let's get this Emerald Coast in here. Okay.
There is a 5th corner on the rectagon, isn't there?
Tom, I never learned about rectagons when I was in school. I must have missed that day. You and your rectagons.
Round tangles.
Square tangles. Oh, man. Okay, so now we've got that Emerald Coast and that Blue Sky on there.
Yes, Laura, you should be able to use gift cards at the same time as you use the code.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so I'm thinking powder blue. Let me pull that color and see how that looks over this. So I'm going to do powder blue. Okay. Oh, that's pretty. Now you see, it's a little different because it doesn't have as much flat space as this, so it's just picking up kind of that line arty look, but it's still bringing it out. That's pretty. Very light touch with this. What do you guys think? Oh, that's so pretty. I like that. I like them both. So it kind of gives it a watercolory look. just not, you know, just a little bit different than just throwing ink blending on top, which ink blending looks beautiful on top. So if you're going for a more subtle look and maybe you're not covering it with vellum and you don't need it to show through so much, you could just stop with the ink blending. But adding that darker shade on top really does create an interesting look.
And this can definitely be done with cubes too, right?
Oh yeah, you can do it with cubes for sure. That was my first thought, to do it with cubes because they're so easy to control. But I did think that it might be a little bit quicker for me during the live to use a big pad because I can cover more surface area. All right, I'm going to clean off my mat again. I only like to clean this mat with the tidy towel and a little bit of water. It does stain, but the bottom line is you want it to stay tacky, and water won't remove the tack, but anything else will. Stamp cleaner, Windex, alcohol, it will all take the tack off. So only use water on it, and that's fine. I mean, you know, a stained mat is a loved mat. That's what we say about stamps too. A stained stamp is a loved stamp. All right. So now I want to assemble these cards. So for this one, I think I'll make this one into more of a sympathy card, and I'll make this one more of my holiday card, because this one, like I said, with the tapestry, you can use it for just about anything. Now what I've done here is I used Master Layouts 18. Oh, and by the way, my plan is next week to finish up the Master Layout series and do Master Layouts 20. I know you guys have been waiting for that one, and I think I'm going to try to do that next Thursday. So hopefully I'll have some time to prepare for that. So I'm going to use Master Layouts 18. I'm going to use this frame die, and Master Layouts 18 coordinates with Master Layouts 2. So if you did want to add a little black shadow layer to this, you certainly could. But I don't want to do that tonight. I know I'm not adding any black to these cards except for the greeting, and it's kind of freaking me out. But I think we'll get through it. So what I want to do here is I cut 3 frames and I glued them together. So can you see that it's kind of thick? That's 3 frames all glued together. So I did that for both cards. I cut a total of 6 frames. The frames are pretty thin on the cardstock, and I wanted to thicken them up, and I wanted to raise it away a little bit from the paper. It's the vellum is still going to sit on the paper, and that's okay, but I just wanted it to have a little bit of dimension, and I didn't want to use foam squares on this. All right, so now I am going to cut this down. Now, remember, these are the same size as Master Layouts 2. So if you wanted to cut your vellum with Master Layouts 2 so it's exact and you don't have to worry about it, you can do that. Just use the Master Layouts 2 stitched rectangle to cut your vellum. But I've got a piece of the Gina K Designs vellum here, and I'm going to cut it to the same measurement as Master Layouts 2, which is 3.5 inches by 4 3/4 inches. Okay, and that will fit right over the back of this panel perfectly. Now, if you want, you can go a little bit smaller if you're worried about it hanging over the edge, but you don't have to. Now, our vellum is paper weight. It's not cardstock weight, so you can see through it a little bit easier. And it is, I mean, you wouldn't want to cut a die cut piece out of this and not layer it maybe or something. It's not cardstock, it is paper. But it's great for these kinds of techniques. So I'm going to take my tape runner for this, and I'm going to just do tape runner. Yes, this vellum is heat resistant, so you can use it for embossing powders.
Any idea when the cranberry cardstock is coming back?
No. I don't.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It's all going to be reordered tonight because I was waiting for everybody to get on the notify me list who wants it. And then this way I can make sure that I get enough for everybody. And like I said in our group today, I have this posted in our group, also on our Facebook page, also here on YouTube. We are offering it when it comes back in stock, the cardstock and all of the inks at 25% off, because I know a lot of you missed it and that makes you sad. We don't want anybody to be sad. Trust me, I really wanted to have enough. I really did. Somebody said in the Facebook group that she thought it was a ploy that I didn't order enough. That would be the dumbest marketing. She said it was a marketing ploy. I got to tell you, that'd be the dumbest marketing move that a company could make. You know, let's not order enough so we can frustrate everybody, and let's lose sales too. That doesn't make any sense. We would never do that. I actually ordered more than I ordered of our last 2 ink releases, and believe it or not, we still have ink left over from our last 2 ink releases. So I thought I was nailing it, but you know, my crystal ball, I guess it needs a little dusting and shining, because I just couldn't do it this time. All right, so I'm gonna do a horizontal card for this one. So I have a card base here cut to 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at the 4 1/4 inch mark. And then that is going to fit perfectly. This piece is going to fit perfectly over my cardstock. It might be just a tiny bit off, because remember guys, I always get the weird cuts. They always give me the weird cuts. So what I might do just to be safe is I might cut just a hair off of the bottom. Yeah, no, I would never do that. And that's why I want to make sure everybody gets the discount. So if you are hoping, literally cut a hair off. If you are hoping to get the next round, please put your name on the notify me list. I use that notify me list to judge how many I need to buy, and of course I'll add more than that, but you know, if nobody goes on the notify me list, I might not have enough. So please, if you're interested, head over to our website after the live and just add your email address to the notify me list. The good news is that when it does come back in stock, you'll get notified before it actually starts, you know, before we start marketing it to the public. So you will get that first right of refusal. You're not committing to it. You're just saying that you want it and you want to be notified. All right, so now I'm going to put tape all over this folded card, this note card here. And I'm going to add a little bit extra here in the middle just to make sure that everything gets stayed tacked down. And then I'm going to put this right on top before I press it down. Okay. So now that is our card front now. We've got that beautiful card front. Now this is going to go on top, and you'll still be able to see the design coming through, but it's muted, so now I can put things on top and it's not going to be so obvious. Yes, go in the notify me. There's a little notify me button, and you'll click it and it'll ask you to put your email address in. Don't put it on your wish list, because your wish list is private and I can't even see what's on your wish list. All right, so I'm going to use some adhesive here on the back of this vellum, but I'm just putting it on where it's being covered by that cardstock, because you can see adhesive through the vellum. Okay. And now I'm going to place this, I'm going to center this, and then that'll give me that nice frame of the vibrant color and then the muted look on the inside. There we go. Now, if you feel better about it, you can always use glue for this. Boy, I didn't really nail that very well. Plus, I think I'm going to use some glue. I'm going to add glue because this is pretty inky, and I think it could stand the help of a little bit of glue. I used a lot of glue earlier to glue a million die cuts together. So let me get this glue started. Over here. Oh, did I clog my glue? And of course, I think it's the only glue I have here. Uh-oh. Tom's getting ready to run. Yesterday, Warehouse Steve met him halfway with our faded brick cardstock, but yeah,
not going to happen now.
I'm going to need some glue. Can you get me a glue? Do you mind? Getting me a glue? I don't think I have another glue here. I have a glue bottle, but I have no Connect glue. So you're gonna have to get me a glue. All right, so while he's doing that, we will go ahead and I need to get some stainless steel pins. That's what I need. And somebody sent me a box of them and I was so grateful, and I took them home and I put them somewhere and I can't find them. So I'm going to cut this one down again, this other piece of vellum, to the 3.5 inch mark by 4 3/4 of an inch. Well, this will give me an opportunity to show you, because people always ask, they don't know how to fill the glue bottles. So that might seem like it's an easy thing for some people, but for other people, they're a little bit confused. I think they think that you have to fill it through this tip, but this just screws off, and they're just not sure how to do it. So sometimes it's good to see it. Oh my goodness. That's the wrong one. Oh, I didn't even put these together. All right, well, that's good. It'll buy me some time while Tom's running around. So let me put these together, these frames together. I did want to show you how I do that. So I put the Gina K Designs tape runner on this side, and now I'm going to start just at the one corner, lining them up. Once I get it to the one corner, then I'm just going to rub my hand here and line it up on this corner. I'm going to do the same thing, lining it all up on this corner, and then the same thing here. And then once I have that all in place, then I can kind of press everything else down. And then we're going to do that again. So we're going to do 3 of them together to really beef up this frame. Now you can do this with a single one and foam squares or foam tape, but when you are mailing stuff like this, it is kind of nice because it won't squish down. See, Tom, every time you think about working out on a live day, you don't have to worry about it.
No, I do not.
Because you know I'm going to make you run somewhere. Okay. All right, so filling the glue bottle is super easy. I'm going to just use this. This is what Tom brought me. He bought me the 1/2 ounce glue. So what I do, and this makes it a ton easier, I get an old pair of scissors and I cut down the tip to like there. I just chop it off, and then I put it right inside there and I just squeeze. And you see how that, like, that whole thing is just squeezing out. See that? I just squeeze all of it in here because this little bottle will hold more than a 1/2 ounce. So I will just squeeze the whole tube. Now, most of you who use the fine tip bottles will end up buying our larger glue. Now for those, I don't cut the tip off because I want to keep the air out, and those have a special cap that has a little thing that comes down and plugs the hole of the top. But you could also still use a stainless steel pin. All right, so I think I got it all in there. This is a 1 ounce bottle, and this is a 1/2 ounce of glue. If you tap it, anything left will go down in there. So that just makes it so easy. It just squeezes out super easy like that. And then I just put this cap back on. This, you can put it between the cap and here, and then use it to cover the top to keep air out. However, I find that when it's open, it gets in my way. So I keep it off like that, and then I just, you know, take it off when I use it that way. So hopefully that helps you see how to do that. Now I'm going to add glue to this. I love the fine tip bottles. I think that they're just really, really good for getting glue in the tiniest spots. Remember, we got to be careful not to get it over the vellum, so we don't want to go too close to the inside. I am going to get an acrylic block. I have a big acrylic block for this. This is like an A2 size acrylic block. It's our biggest block. And I am going to use that to put some pressure on this. So let me get this into position here. Make sure that looks even. Looks pretty even. And then I'm going to press that down. So you've got the tape like in between to kind of hold it in place. And then the glue will dry and dry everything in place. And I'm just going to put this acrylic block, has a little goober on it there, but I'm just going to put that on top to act as a weight. All right, so now I'm going to adhere this vellum to this panel again. I don't want to clog my glue. Alrighty.
Question, can you use heavyweight cardstock for that frame?
Yes, you definitely can, and you probably wouldn't need to layer it quite as much. I'd still do 2 together just to give it a little bit more oomph, but if you wanted to use the heavy base weight white, that would be really good too. So I'm going to put that down, and I'm starting just at the one end here. And then I'm just being careful to keep it nice and flat so it doesn't kind of wrinkle anywhere. Gives it that nice frosty glass window. And this is heat resistant, so you could try, if you have a laser printer, you could try printing a design on it and you could foil it. You might get a little curl with it, but it'd be kind of cool to try and see what that would look like. Now, once again, this one I'm going to do vertical. So I think this one's going to fit okay. So I'll do this one vertical. You can really feel that this cardstock is still damp. Even though it's dye ink, there's so much ink on there. See how it bleeds through a little bit from all of that inking and then all of that swiping with the ink pad. So that's why I had to put a little bit of glue on that frame, because there's just not, it's just a little bit damp. Add a little bit more in here. Okay. Yeah, it was a crazy week. Crazy day yesterday in our Facebook group, to say the least.
How do you straighten the vellum that has curled?
Like if you put it on there and it's curled, you should, if you put it on with our tape runner, you should be able to peel it back off and reposition it. So, all right, so this one's going to go on this way. All right, so we're going in the vertical orientation. So I am going to put some tape on here, just around the perimeter.
How about if we sneak in a quick word of the day?
Oh, that would be great.
While you're taping.
Yes, and I need to change my tape runner too.
Okay, big shout out. The word of the day goes out to all those folks out there. The first responders and people who keep people safe, the nurses, all the people who have to work on Thanksgiving. Or you're on the road, you're not at home during Thanksgiving Day for dinner. Gina and I worked on the road for in our younger years, so we had a little bit of that. And sometimes you just end up eating a hot dog, right?
Yes.
And so for all those folks, we want to wish you a very warm and thankful Franksgiving. If you got to eat a Frankfurter instead of a big holiday dinner.
Instead of a turkey, you get
And
a
of
hot
course,
dog, a Frank.
A Franksgiving. Happy
my gosh.
Franksgiving. And of course, you have leftovers. And they're
Not
always
on
wonderful.
Franksgiving, you don't.
Right. So, back to the dead space.
Oh my goodness. That's a great word of the day for the holiday coming up. Okay, so There we go. I've got my frame in place here. And I really like this look because you have this beautiful outer frame, but then the inside is just kind of, looks like it's behind brushed glass or something. And that's holding pretty well. Okay, so while this one is doing its thing, for my card, this card, I wanted it to be a holiday card, but I wanted to kind of keep it clean. I didn't want to do a lot of coloring or an image that required a lot of coloring. So I die cut these 3 trees from our Ornamental Trees die set. This is a set of 3 different tree dies that I cut 3 of each and I glued them together. I stacked them together so that they will also have some raised areas. And I am going to put them all together here. Let's see if they all fit inside the frame. They may or they may not. They may overlap the edge just a little bit, and that might be okay too. That just might be okay. So this is what I was thinking for my card. I was thinking of doing something like this. Of course, I got to get them on there straight, so that's going to be a little bit of a panic. Like that. And then I was going to use just one of our strip sentiments to create a little pop of color. So, and when I say color, I mean black, because you know I got to have black on every card. So this is from our Holiday Greetings sentiment sheets. And I was just going to either pop that here, like a plate, or right across the center. And I'm kind of liking the way it looks across the center. What do you guys think? I like that, right across the center like that. I might pop it up with some foam squares on either side of that tree. Okay, so let's go ahead and place the center one first. I think that's the best way to place these, because if I started on one side, it would look really nice, and then this one would be hanging off the card completely. So I gotta do it that way. Okay, so I'm gonna use my my tweezers to hold this, and I'm just going to do glue dots. Now I don't need to do tons and tons of glue. I just need to have glue in enough spots that it's going to work.
Did you cut the trees out of white cardstock?
I did. I cut them out of our layering weight white and I stacked them, so there's 3 of them. Okay, and now I'm going to put this one in the center. Try to get it as centered as possible. I'm going to hold it there for just a second. That's pretty good. That's pretty centered. Okay. So now this one's going to go off the edge just a little bit. So there is going to be a little bit of a bump on the edge. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Even if it's just raised a tiny bit on that edge, I won't worry too much. Trying to worry less. In 2026, I'm trying to worry less. So would you guys like to hear a story about worry and stress and something that kind of changed my life a little bit? A story that I heard somebody say? Because I know that a lot of you are just like me and you worry about everything. And I heard this story and it honestly changed my life a little bit when I heard it. All right, let me get this tree down here. Got to get it straight. Okay. So think about this. What do you think worry and anxiety really is? So for most people, I might overlap this one just a little bit too, just to get the points in the right spots. So for most people, they think anxiety is the fear of the unknown, right? We don't know what's going to happen, so it makes us feel anxious. And I spent most of my life thinking that it's, the fear of the unknown. But this guy said it's not the fear of the unknown. Because if it was the unknown, what is the unknown? The unknown is nothing. So you're not anxious about nothing. What we're anxious about is the fictional story that we write over the unknown, because we don't like sitting with the unknown. We feel like we need to write something there. So we write a fictional story, and then we have something to be anxious about. That was such a light bulb moment for me, because that's exactly what I do. It's not that I'm anxious that, that I don't know what's going to happen, because, anything can happen. That's not what I'm really worried about. What I'm worried about is this fake story that I wrote, right? I write this story of all the bad things that are going to happen, and then I have something to worry about, and they're not even real. It's not even a real story. It's just a fake story that I wrote, and now I have something to be anxious about. And so now when I feel anxious, I say, what am I anxious? What are you worried about? What are you concerned about? And then it really becomes a game of what ifs. Well, what if this happens? Well, what if that happens? Well, what if that? Well, none of that is fact. That's just make-believe. Didn't happen. You're worried about it, and it didn't happen. So that is something that really kind of changed my outlook on worry and anxiety and how I was projecting a fake story. I do it a lot. It's not easy. You got to call yourself out on it. And it's true. Yeah, like I see what you guys are saying. It's true. Like, most of the time, none of the things that you're worried about, or 80% of the things, 90% of the things that you're worried about never even happen. It's so true. And we kind of freak ourselves out because we've got like these scenarios in our heads that we tell ourselves. And so my goal for 2026, I probably should start it sooner. I moved that over too far, is to stop worrying about things that haven't happened. Like, stop telling myself that things are gonna not work out. And what do you always say, Tom? I love what Tom always says. He always says this to our girls, and he says it to me, too. He always says, do you want to tell them, or should I tell them?
You tell them.
All right. He always says, if you're going to give time thinking about the worst case scenario, then you have to give an equal amount of time to thinking about the best case scenario. What great thing could happen?
Oh, yeah.
You didn't remember that? Look how cute that card is. Isn't that adorable? Oh, I love it so much. So I feel like this card could use a little sparkle, and the sparkle I want to give it is my little crystal clear sequins. So I love that. That's my goal, is to stop worrying. Like I'm going to call myself out from I should start right away, but it always feels good to like have a clean slate on January 1st. And I'm just going to say to myself, all right, well, what am I really worried about? And is that happening? And if it's not happening, then I really shouldn't worry about it, because I'm just making something up to worry about. That's going to be my goal. We'll see. We'll see how I do. I might need you guys to call me out on it. All right, let me put these three down. See how tiny the little glue dots are that I put on there? They're so tiny. It's just because I don't want it going all over the vellum. So maybe try that. Like tomorrow, if you feel anxious about something, just say to yourself, am I anxious about something that's real, or am I writing a fake story about something that, you know, I'm making up, that I guess it could happen, but it didn't happen? And am I just giving myself something to worry about? Oh, that's so pretty. I feel like those three are just tasteful. What do you think, Tom? Do you like this card?
I do.
Okay.
And I like where you put the greeting.
Yeah, I liked it in the middle too. I
See?
like it at the bottom, but I feel like it just draws your eye right to the center of the card.
See, you didn't like my suggestion, the last card, putting it in the middle. So I didn't say anything. And
But
now
you were
it's in the
thinking
middle.
it, right?
And it's in the middle now.
See, it was telepathy. And this is a little different for me because I don't have that black edge going around the outside. My card base is white inside, but I like it. I think it's simple and it's soft, and it really helps to accent the snow around the outside. These dies are called Ornamental Trees, and the sentiment strips are called Holiday Greetings. And then this die is Master Layouts 8. All right, so Ornamental Trees. All right, let's put this one away. Now, this should be plenty set by now. Now, what I did here for this one is I die cut 3 of these. This is from our Botanical Duo die set. It's got 2 different botanical sprigs. And then I glued 3 of those together, and I was thinking of putting it just here on the side and then making this like a sympathy card. So, and it could be a sympathy card, but it also could be just, you know, if somebody's just struggling with something. So it just says, with love and prayers. And this one is from our mixed messages. And I thought that could go like right over the center like that. And we could put a few little sequins on there. And that would be really pretty. We could put it right in the center. Let's see how that looks, because maybe you would like that better. So right in the center, and then have the with love and prayers kind of going across it like that. Now, another option from that same greeting set is the thank you. So we could kind of do this off center, and then we could make this more like a Thanksgiving card, like a thankful for you. Ooh, I like that. What do you think of that, Tom?
Yep.
You like that? Let's do that. I think I'll go with that. All right, so once again, I'm going to put little glue dots on the back. Yes, I think this die cut goes really nicely with the Tapestry too. It's got that same kind of feel as the Tapestry embossing folder. Let me see if I can find that so that you can see that. Can you see this design in here? It's got those same kinds of leaves, that same shape. So it feels like it goes together really nicely. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put some glue on the back of this one. And the glue is nice. It sticks really nice to the vellum with no problem at all. I'm trying to be more mindful too. You know what I started doing? A very good friend of mine, Heidi from Simon Says Stamp, you know, I was with her last weekend. She invited me to stay at her house, and when I stayed at her house, we had coffee in the morning, but at nighttime we had tea. And she had this little teapot decanter thing that like brewed the tea, and then it had this long spout. And I was rushing to pour my tea. And when I poured my tea, it spilled out of the top because I tilted it too far trying to get the tea out faster. And she said to me that she was trying to be more mindful and, you know, relaxing at the end of the day and trying to like just, you know, it's like self-care. It was such a great lesson for me. She taught me so much about, do I want to do that or do I want to go off? I think I want to go off a little bit. I might need a little more. A little glue up there. So she taught me a lot about thinking in a more mindful way. And I really appreciate that. I really appreciate when my friends teach me things. And she really did. She taught me about being more mindful. She said, you're pouring the tea too fast. You're rushing. You're rushing through life. Stop rushing. There's time. And my second one that I did with her, I took my time and I poured the tea. So now I got myself one of those little tea things, little spout things. And every night now when I go home from work, I'm having a cup of tea and I'm being mindful about making the tea. Like part of the process is not just drinking the tea. It's the enjoyment of watching it seep and all of those things. So yeah, we need to take care of ourselves. We need to shut off the noise a little bit now and then.
I bought Zeus a cat tree as a belated birthday gift, and now he's living in the present.
Ba-dum-bum. That's very good, Tom. That's pretty funny. All right, I'm going to put this right here in the middle, just off to the one side. He is living in the present. That's so funny. So by default, Tom is required to drink tea with me at night now. You don't mind, though, do you?
No, she gives me the caffeinated, and I'm up all night.
I do not.
Sneaks it in there just for fun.
I do not give you the caffeinated tea. So I hope you guys will think about that. Maybe you guys will brew a cup of tea tonight and just sit and relax and enjoy the process of the tea, taking your time and turning off the news. We don't need to see it. Getting in your craft room, just enjoying processes more. That's the thing. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of us forget to do when it comes to card making too. We feel like we have to have the perfect finished product all the time. I have to make a card all the time. Rather than, I'm just going to make a bunch of backgrounds and enjoy the process of getting my fingers inky. I'm just going to enjoy the process of die cutting some words for future cards, you know? We need to do more of that. All right, so here's the other one. You can see the little bit of sparkle. I just followed the line of the flower. All right, so there we go. I feel like both of these cards were really fun to make. We got to pull out some older supplies tonight, which is really fun. Probably a lot of you have been with me for a while, have all of these things in your craft room already, or you have similar things that you can use. Dig through your embossing folders, see what works, and just try this little layout, framing it out and hiding some of it behind the vellum. I think that that's just so pretty and so tasteful. Love that. All right, so which one do you like better, Tom? I always have to put them on the spot.
Okay, I'm just going to go with my first impression. I would say like the touch of more of the green in the thank you.
Yeah.
But that's just, they're both fun.
Yeah.
That just looks like a little bit more greenery.
Yeah, I love that too. Yeah. All right. Well, Tom, we have to give away a gift card tonight. But before we do that, if you liked tonight's video, and I hope that you sure did, if you wouldn't mind giving it a thumbs up, that really does help our channel. And then if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button and then hit all notifications so you never miss another video. And then if you're not part of our Facebook group, come on and join us. We all share different card ideas that we've made with our Gina K Designs products over there. And we also, you know, help each other with techniques and things like that. The name of the Facebook group is called Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends, and we'd love to have you over there. come on and join us. And then a big shout out to Brianne. Brianne, thank you so much for all your help with linking tonight. As usual, I'm so thankful for you. You're definitely one of those people in my life I'm so grateful for. I'll be thinking about you on Thanksgiving. But if you missed any of Brianne's links, you can find everything I used tonight over on our website at ginakdesigns.com. And don't forget, we've got a coupon code right now. It's good for now all the way through Thanksgiving Thursday at 11:59 p.m. Central Time. The code is THANKYOU25. So if you want to save 25% off on an order, you can use that code. So don't forget to do that. All right, Tom, come on in and let's give away a gift card.
Drum roll, please. Here we go. Denise Poole. Denise Poole, you're the winner.
Yay, Denise. Congratulations, Denise. You get a $15 Gina K Designs gift card. All you have to do is send your name and email address to info@ginakdesigns.com and we will get that right out to you. Well, everybody who is celebrating, happy Thanksgiving. We are so grateful for all of you all around the world. We appreciate you being here with us every Tuesday night and every Thursday. We appreciate all your support of our small business, and we just love spending time with you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, Tom and I will be back not on Thursday because it is Thanksgiving, and we'll probably be sleeping on the couch somewhere during our normal live time in the afternoon. But we'll be back next Tuesday night with another Stamp and Chat Live. So in the meantime, everybody, happy Thanksgiving. Stay safe and healthy. We love you all so very much, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.